Hey guys, it's Emma Biggling with TYT Politics, and I have to call out the Democrats. It's been bugging me because, look, I will preface this by saying that I am as opposed to Donald Trump as anybody. I'm terrified of him. Every cabinet pick that comes forward just puts a pit in my stomach. They're just going to dismantle any semblance of progress that the Obama administration made and take us back decades, honestly, unless we fight him, unless Donald Trump adheres to the campaign promises that he said, where he talked about not wanting to cut Medicare and Medicaid. Oh, maybe he's just going to do a voucher program that isn't actually cutting it, etc. There are plenty of policy concerns to bring forward and to hammer him over the head with, like Bernie Sanders is doing throughout the country holding these rallies. But calling him an illegitimate president is not the way to go. So, John Lewis, he is spearheading the fight of calling Donald Trump an illegitimate president. On Chuck Todd's show on NBC News, he was the first to say, I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You do not consider him a legitimate president. Why is that?
I think the Russians participated in helping this man get elected, and they helped destroy the candidacy of Hillary Clinton.
Michael Moore, a progressive that I respect, also is jumping on this bandwagon. He went to Facebook on Saturday and he said he agrees with John Lewis, saying that Donald Trump is not a legitimate president. Nothing, including an arcane racist section of the Constitution, can change the fact that 3 million more Americans voted for Hillary than for Trump, Moore begins by saying. It's either a democracy or it isn't. If he had won by 3 million, I would sadly admit that Trump is the president that the American people wanted. But that's not what happened. Yes, the Electoral College is an outdated system. Yes, we should not be using it anymore. But you can't retroactively change the rules of the game and play Monday morning quarterback when your candidate lost. The question is not why Hillary Clinton lost the election in this area of Michigan or in this area of Ohio. The question is, why did she not win the election by 10 points against an orange buffoon? The Electoral College must be changed. But once we lose, we can't whine about it. We can change it now, we can move it going forward, and we can do away with the Electoral College. Yes, I agree with that. But the Electoral College was in place when this election happened. You can't pretend like it wasn't. You can't just say, now we're going to go by the popular vote. You have to accept and move forward. So, was it legitimate? Yes. Because it was legitimate by the rules of the game that we had set up at that point. I'm devastated about it. I'm so sad that Donald Trump is our president. I'm terrified. But we have to move forward from there. Secondly, John Lewis saying that he is illegitimate because the Russians participated in getting Hillary Clinton elected. You have no proof of that. You have no proof of that. And you know why 50% of Democrats and Hillary voters believe that Russians hacked the voting booths, according to a Washington Post survey? Half believe that, because of misinformation like what John Lewis is putting forward. Did Russia involve itself in the electoral process by somehow helping leak the Podesta emails and the DNC emails? It seems extremely likely at this point. Bernie Sanders is saying that it seems extremely likely. Republicans who have no interest in doing that are saying that it seems extremely likely. I'm just giving you guys the facts at this point. I was very skeptical at first. But do we have any proof that the information that they released negatively swayed people and made sure that they wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton? There is no proof of that. We have no way of determining that because it's in the past. Do we have any proof that the grabber by the pussy statements hurt Donald Trump? We don't have any proof of that either. But it seems like those statements probably did hurt him. Similar to what was released by the DNC. Or by WikiLeaks. About the DNC and about the Podesta emails. So, both things are leaks, that hurt the other candidate. Why is it so nuts because Russia was somehow involved? The content of the leaks and the validity of them and their veracity has not been disputed. So why are we obsessing about Russia, 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 and saying that Donald Trump is illegitimate because of it? I hate him. I'm terrified of him. He doesn't seem mentally all there and is about to be the president of the United States. Does that mean that I'm going to use this excuse that he is an illegitimate president? I can't, on principle, say that to you guys. And I respect John Lewis, a civil rights leader, but that does not take away from the fact that Hillary Clinton lost this very winnable election. There were leaks on both sides, but just because Russia was somewhat involved in one of them doesn't mean that Russia hacked the election. The information was all true. So Bernie Sanders is kind of getting sick of this talking point as well. He was on George Stephanopoulos' show, or as Jimmy Dore likes to call him, George Snuffleupagus, and Stephanopoulos asked him, do you think Donald Trump will be a legitimate president?
Do you think Donald Trump will be a legitimate president?
Well, I think he's going to be inaugurated this week. I have great concerns, and apparently Republicans do as well. And there's going to be an investigation about the role that Russian hacking played in getting him elected. Do I think Russians supported him? Do I think they tried to get him elected? Do I think I worked against Clinton? I do. And that is something that has to be investigated.
Does that make him illegitimate?
Right now, what my job is, pardon me? Those are just words. Right now, what my job is right now, going beyond media conflicts and words, is to say that Donald Trump, among other things, told the American people he would not cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And right now, Republicans in the House and Senate are doing just that.
So yes, this Russia thing is real, and it seems like there's bipartisan agreement that, for the most part, that Russia did involve itself in the election. But the hysteria over it is a deflection from the real issues. Trump is going to get elected. He legitimately won the Electoral College. Russia may have involved itself and spewed propaganda is not even the right word because all the information is true, but selectively released information that was incriminating against Hillary Clinton and withheld the Republican, the RNC information. That's what we're hearing. But does that mean that Trump is illegitimate? No. That's a hard pill to swallow for many Democrats. And lastly, I will make this point. There are so many things that influence elections. Different information being released, as I've pointed out. Different scandals. But super PACs influence the election. Every single day. Every single day. They change the conversation. They prop up certain candidates over the other. They make us a corporatocracy, an oligarchy, and not a democracy. Yet where is the outrage about super PACs and billionaires and millionaires' influence over elections? John Lewis and Michael Moore. I mean, Michael Moore, yeah, he gets it, but he's wrong here. There are so many factors that influence elections. We can go forward from here, and we can scrutinize Russia, and we can make sure that foreign influence over our elections does not happen again. We can try. But look, he's won. So now we focus on policy. That's where we have to curtail him.